So what is the British Grand Prix actually like? We've just come back from Silverstone ourselves, and we're going to tell you all about our experience there. This is Patterson's On Pole, and welcome back to another episode. So, Silverstone 2025. What are our thoughts? What are your thoughts, Ree? How did you like it?
I always like Silverstone.
100%. I mean, we say always. We did last year and this year, so that's...
It's 100% of the time, it's always.
That's, well, 100% of the times that we've done.
So always.
So always. That's fair. That's absolutely fine. This time we actually did the Friday, Saturday, and the Sunday. Last year we just did the Sunday. Of course, Silverstone 2024 was a fantastic year because, well, at least my boy Lewis, but you're at Silverstone, you're a Lewis fan, right?
Yeah, it doesn't matter who I'm supporting. Every year when we were at Silverstone, it goes out the window and just Lewis becomes
100%.
One. I actually need to make note of this because next year I will need to take Ferrari merch.
I'm going to say
I even took a flag for Hamilton this year. No one else.
Did we use it?
No, we left it in the car.
Completely forgot. We left it in the car, on the tent, or wherever we left it. But yes, even in your Williams merch, you were still very much
always screaming.
Really hoping that Hamilton would do something. Although with the outcome of the race, I mean, we are quite happy with who stepped on the podium, at least for the third step. The shade. But let's talk about it. Let's talk about the atmosphere. So how did it feel? What are your thoughts on how did it feel whilst you were actually on the track for the weekend?
Silverstone's a vibe. People always compare it to a festival. Mm-hmm. I've never been to a festival, so I can't make that comparison. However, it's a festival. If that's what festivals are like, I would enjoy them.
Yeah.
Everyone's really up for it. Everyone's really friendly. There's a few issues with some people, but for the most part, they don't bother you. You find out more about it in the aftermath, right? So it's like people leaving a mess, being slightly antisocial. But whilst you're there, the actual vibe is second to none. It's superb. 100%.
I think that, and like I said, the festival vibe is brilliant. The artists that they have there the entire weekend are amazing. Everyone's really up for it. And I like that when you're actually watching the sessions, so the practice sessions and qualifying, and of course during the race, everyone can be quite animated, and you start to chat to people around you. I made lots of temporary friends just talking about what was happening, because you can see, if you're situated well, you can see big screens that tell you what's going on, and they do have the commentary over some speakers, and you can get the little radios. We never got one of those.
I think we'll need those next year, to be honest, because I don't remember last year missing the commentary. I don't know if we heard it and I just accepted it, or if I don't remember there actually being there. But this year I really noticed that I couldn't hear what was going on.
100%.
Especially actually because we did inner track for the first time this year as well, right?
Yes, on Saturday.
And that was when you've got the cars between you and the screen.
Yes.
So you can't hear a damn thing, basically, because they're so loud. So I think next year we might need, well, I don't know. It comes back to the whole point, doesn't it, of whether Silverstone is worth it to watch the actual race itself, but we'll come on to that later, or whether it's just for the atmosphere.
Yeah, but I do think, even though you can't really hear what's going on most of the time, having the people around you and that kind of thing is,
or trying to work out what's going on. Everyone becomes like a whodunit of who's in pole.
Yes, 100%, because of course, whilst you're actually on the track, you only know your bit of track. Yeah. So if something else is going on, you don't know. They don't play all the same replays. They don't give you all the same information. So you're just kind of, in the sessions especially, you just kind of hope. You think someone's done some purple sectors. We don't know. I remember the first time in practice, free practice 1, when they would say absolute best sector. Mm-hmm. Completely threw me, because when you watch Sky Sports F1, they'll only say personal best, and then they'll say fastest.
Yeah.
So when they said absolute best, I was like, the absolute best for them,
like the Lord,
the absolute best, just in general, just the divine power. So I didn't really know what that was until a little bit, and I thought, oh, okay, that's the purple sector, but only if they show you the actual times on the screen. Of course, you just have to wait, and we couldn't watch it on our phones to help because our signal on the track was so bad. At certain points in the track, it was great.
Yeah, but I think it comes down to how many people were there, because again, I don't remember having this problem last year of not being able to access get signal or even the Wi-Fi on my phone. I think it was just so many people this year because it felt a lot busier this year than it did last year.
500,000 people came.
Yeah, so maybe it was just that. And also going back to the point just about what you do and don't notice going on and off the track, my example of that would be on race day and they did the formation lap and people were pitting to change their tyres. Yeah. Now we were sat on the exit of Stowe, so it was soaking wet. It chucked it down. The spray was awful and people were pitting to change from inters onto slicks and we were like, what on earth are they doing? The track is soaking wet. Everybody is sending spray up into the air. No one's obviously slipping and sliding at this point because everyone's going relatively normal pace. But the entire Vale Bank was just looking at each other like everyone was completely had no idea what was going on. So then when we came back and we watched the race at home, we realised that it was the only corner on the entire track that had water on it. Everywhere else was dry. So we had no idea. We were like, these people are idiots coming around on slick tyres when they're actually driving through the ocean. But it was a good vibe, by the way.
Yeah, I think the vibes were good. Vibes were high, and we always like going there. Of course, the rubbish is a little bit of an issue. Lots of people littering, which wasn't great because with the winds and stuff, you'd get just bits of rubbish blowing into you, which wasn't always great. But besides that, I think it was wonderful.
I think there is a bit of a problem as well with not first timers in particular, but I read a few excuses of people having left stuff on Vale in particular where we were sat, because that's where you can do, I don't want to call it the track invasion, but essentially it is afterwards, where you can go up and you can see the podium. And people had left deck chairs, they'd left tables, they'd left literally what seemed like their worldly possessions behind. And I'd seen some people later on in the groups and stuff saying that the marshals had told them that they could go back and get it. And we knew from last year that was not the case. You cannot get back in once you're on track because you're all sort of escorted around one way. You have to go out a certain way. So I think there's a bit of an issue there with people not quite understanding what the possibilities are and aren't. But yeah, the rubbish as a whole, there were still little bits of individual litter throwing around, which it does make it sad. It does make it sad. Yeah. You just want people to take care of the track because this is where people have lost alcohol privileges this year. They used to be able to do an entire track walk. I don't think you can anymore. They used to let loads of people off, and now you can only do it from one section. So it's the more people take an inch to take a mile, the less freedoms are going to get in the future, which is kind of sad, but it didn't dampen the weekend either way. It's just be mindful.
Indeed. Which will take us really to the best and worst parts.
That's the worst.
of the weekend. So, so I suppose I would say the worst part is probably the littering. And because I don't have many bad things to say, I would say in terms of now, of course, if you've never been to one of the racetracks before, when you watched on TV, you hear about how long the track is, however many miles, and you think to yourself, "All right, well, and you forget that these cars are doing a 5-mile track in a minute and a half or something ridiculous like that." And so you think, that's nothing, until you have to get from one bit of the track to the other on foot, and you realise how far everything is, and there are only certain entrance points for, especially if you have general admission, and not everywhere is well signposted. So there was some confusion of where you could indeed get back onto the track when you're off of it in certain areas.
Wait, are you meaning with the track invasion itself?
No, not onto track, sorry. Onto the side. Where, when we're...
Oh, you just mean where the seating areas are?
Yeah, general admission.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there were a couple of, one or two instances where we were just looking for where you could actually just get into the bit where you can have general admission seating and not actually off of the, away from where you would spectate. So that's a little bit of an issue, I would say. I can't think of anything other than that was bad.
I did have one, but it's gone.
Oh, it's gone. Well, there we go. But best. I would say the best part of Silverstone, I don't want to say it's the atmosphere because then that's boring. I always like the festival aspect of Silverstone. I think having the extra acts that come out and going to the main stage, and also the drivers are so interactive. I don't know what they're like with other tracks that they go to, but I don't know if it's just the British crowd or whatever it is, but I really do think that they give us everything here, I would say, and I just like it. I really like that part of the main stage. I like that area. it really adds something to the whole weekend. I think if it was just the practice sessions, I really think it would just be, I think it would be a little bit, you know.
I think everywhere does that though.
No, but I like the atmosphere when we're doing it.
You like British people.
I like how the drivers are with us. That makes sense. I don't know if they're like that other places. They might bring exactly the same energy.
I was gonna say I've seen some good interviews at other tracks where they've been pretty much the same.
Like I said, it might be. I'm just saying from what my weekend was, I liked that part as well as the acts that we have and all that bit. I like those bits.
Interestingly, your best bit I think actually might be not my worst bit, but I find it really cringe what they do with the drivers on stage.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean in terms of what the interviewers do with them. I agree with that.
The games are just. Bleh.
I agree with that. Like, if you're gonna make them do something, think of something that's actually good and what's actually
it feels
fun.
very budgety.
I think,
like considering it's like one of the most it's not one of the most expensive, but it is significantly expensive. Like you could spend £1 million on that Grand Prix just on accommodation if you wanted to.
I know what you mean. Yeah, like, it's an expensive event to go to.
Like those, I can't remember what they are, but they're like the sort of like shipping container looking viewing points on the side of the. Yeah,
there was something called the. Was it the temporary hotel?
No, I think that's different because they're the glamping things, aren't they?
Oh yeah, then maybe.
But whatever the shipping container things are, I've seen that those go for like 900,000 for the weekend.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
The fact that you could spend almost £1 million just on this experience, and then we basically budget out on an Asda version of Guess Who during the driver interviews. I don't know. It doesn't fit the vibe.
I think, of course, the drivers. They're contractually obligated to do certain bits.
We should be contractually obligated to bring out something worth theirs and our time.
No, I agree. I agree with you. I think, yeah.
It's like getting Lando and Oscar to decorate cakes. Why?
I don't know.
I just didn't get it.
Yeah,
it's a bit silly. I think they're a bit gimmicky, and I'm not personally a fan. It's fun-ish, as long as you've got the right one with the right one.
Yeah.
But a bit gimmicky.
Okay.
Not a fan of that.
So only negatives for you at the moment.
Yeah, but the rest of it was good.
Which one was specifically good or especially good?
I liked sitting on in a track and seeing all the famous people go past. Seeing Martin Brundle on a motorised scooter wearing a helmet, that was my highlight of the weekend.
Oh my God, yes. So for in a track, we sat on Loop.
Yeah.
There's a bank on Loop. They've made apparently a new grandstand for this year.
Wasn't there
we sat
in front of it.
Right in front of it. We put our deck chairs on there. And although we didn't go to the place where you can see all the drivers like up close, we were able to. When we sat there, we saw a lot of the drivers coming in. And people
got away from Zach Brown.
Yeah, Zach Brown. We waved a couple times.
Saw Damon Hill.
Yeah, we saw a lot of people.
We did.
We saw a lot of people.
George drive in. We saw Lance Stroll on the back of a moped. That was looking as miserable as he looks.
That wasn't as. It's not as glamorous as everyone else's.
We threw ourselves down the bank to get F2 hats.
We did. We got some F2. We don't have them with us. That's what we should have got. Yes, when Invicta, the people who transport the front wings and the tyres, they came round, they were just throwing hats onto the bank, so obviously everyone was scrambling for it. You did the most.
I fought a person for mine.
You did the most, but everyone got, I think,
grass stains to prove it.
But it was good. It was really good. Thank you, Invicta Racing Team, for supplying us with the free merch. That was a good time. Yeah, I liked it.
I'd definitely do in a track again.
Yeah, so ultimately, what's it like watching the race on track, well, not on track, but spectating at Silverstone rather than watching it at home? Just like when we talked about where we were on Vale Bank, which was on the exit of Stowe Corner, where it was really, really wet at the beginning of the race, and only when you go home and watch it and realize that the rest of it is absolutely dry. That's the race. You see momentary bits where people are going past you, and of course on Stowe Corner it's fantastic. There's people going off. We had Charles go off in front of us, Max go off in front of us.
You get some good overtakes there as well.
Overtakes and stuff. So it's a really good area of the track to be at. And of course you have got the screens that you can see. We had one far away in front of us and one that was behind us, although it's up in the bank, so it's really hard to see with everyone standing up. So you can see stuff, but it's incredible how much you miss.
Yeah, you've got no idea what's going on, really.
100%. And the beginning of the race, what felt like the first half, with all the safety cars and the virtual safety cars on track, boring to watch.
Yeah, because you don't see the whole thing. So all you see one car go past you 52 times. So for the first, what was it, like 11, 12 laps of the race, we just saw safety car, safety car, safety car. So all we saw was 12 safety cars. So to us, there was nothing else going on. Because we didn't see any of the rookies crash off.
Yeah, we actually didn't see any of them.
Yeah, we knew that it was raining because we were standing there in our ponchos. And we kept seeing them go past, but we were just sat there waiting for some actual racing to start. We didn't see anything else that was going on.
Yeah.
And it actually, between that and when it actually felt like the race was starting, it seemed to fly by quite dramatically. I can't remember exactly why, but I remember you said we're halfway through the race and I looked at the board behind us and there's only 8 laps left.
Yeah.
So it flies by really, really quickly because you see so little of what's going on.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like there's enough race to go.
Yeah. I mean, I asked people at home what they thought of the race. They said, oh my gosh, at least it was exciting. At least it was interesting. We were like,
was it?
Was it exciting and interesting? Because all we saw were people not race.
Safety car, safety car, safety car.
Exactly. And so it was...
Virtual safety car.
Virtual safety car. Yeah. So... And of course, that's the nature of the race, right? Like last year, it was fantastic.
Last year it rained as well.
No, but it rained and then it's like, well, it was okay. And then it rained and then it stopped. And because there was enough racing and it didn't feel there was that many safety cars last year, last year was fantastic. Like to be there was amazing. This year, I don't know, lackluster, bit too much rain, too much safety car.
Too much safety car.
Too much safety car. But ultimately, do we think you should do it? I think if you love racing and you want the atmosphere, I think you should. If you want to know a lot of what's going on during the race, I'll just watch the race at home.
Or personally. Get a decent enough network carrier to be able to stream it on your phone. For sure. If you can watch it on your phone whilst it's going on, then that's absolutely fine. But it's really for the atmosphere and to kind of watch the cars go past you. That's what I would say. Lando's first win.
It was Lando's first win. Good for him. The first GP win. So fantastic.
First British win. He's won Grand Prix before.
Yeah, I meant to say GP. Yes, British Grand Prix win. And so good for him. It's a shame about Piastri. I mean, he did brake really hard, to be honest. Yeah.
He did do it twice, to be fair. One he was penalised for and one he wasn't.
Yes, true. And the penalty was quite harsh. I think 5 seconds, yes. 10 seconds? Because 5 seconds, that would have been, that's close between Oscar and... What's his name? Lando. But, good for them. Another 1-2. The championship is getting ever closer. We'll see how that pans out for the rest of the season. Hülkenberg on the podium.
It's the second best thing that could have happened after Lewis maintaining his streak.
Yeah, 100%.
So if it was going to be anybody, I'm glad it was someone like Hulk.
Yeah. If it needed, yeah. And of course, on track, we were thinking, Lewis is going to take him. It's absolutely fine. And then he just didn't. And we thought, well...
But again, I think I noticed kind of close. And it was like 8 laps beforehand. And you were like, it's okay, he's got time. I was like, no, he's got 8 laps. And the gap had widened then to like 4 or 5 seconds or something. Because it was initially quite close. And we're like, oh yeah, he'll take him. And then as it seemed to go on, he was getting further and further and further back. And I thought, don't know about this.
Yeah, because he was making mistakes, but the other side of the track. Because again, we could see some of the timings on the screen.
So we thought it was a tyre issue again.
Yeah, we thought something was happening, or why is he on softs? Like, it was a whole situation. That's why he's on softs. He's got half a race left. But yeah, and he just didn't get closer. And good for Hülkenberg, all that experience, those 15, 16 years of not getting a podium, got his first podium. So happy for him. I'm so glad that everybody was so happy for him. It didn't look like the McLaren was that happy for him whilst they were on the podium, but hey, to each their own. I'm not happy, but yeah.
I haven't worn my McLaren top since. I've got
right?
semi-protest.
Right? Justice for Hülkenberg?
I said it before, and I was like, if there was 2 people I wish Hulk could have been on his first podium with, it's Lewis and Max, because I know that they'd have made a massive fuss.
They would have sprayed him completely down with champagne.
Everyone at Silverstone was screaming.
Yeah.
Everybody was screaming.
Yeah, 100%. Because everyone... Because we could see the Lando stand to our right.
You could hear the Lando stand to our right.
100%. So every time Lando would come past, of course they would cheer and we would applaud on this end. And then when Lewis was doing stuff, there was quite a few Lewis supporters, I would
Again,
say.
I think it's one of those things that everyone at Silverstone becomes a Lewis fan to some degree, apart from the 1 or 2 Max fans that are sort of dotted around.
They were poor things. They weren't very happy.
They were not, especially when he span off in front of us.
Yeah. And yeah, so they were cheering when that was happening. But then when it looked like Hulk was just going to take it, everyone was like, you know what?
Everyone became a Hulk fan.
And then the cheering just got... So yeah, Lando went past, we're like, Hulkenberg went past, we're like, So I think that's another thing for the atmosphere as well. You just kind of see where the vibe shifts, and I think that was beautiful, wasn't it? That was amazing.
Good.
I want to say that anything else really impressed us. It didn't. They made some good strategy calls with Stroll.
Yeah, some ridiculously good strategy strolls.
Insane, right?
Strategy strolls? Strategy calls.
Strategy calls. We'll do that
one. I've seen a thing since giving the prediction on whether Stroll can take drivers or not this year. So someone did the entire calculation of what he'd need to do and what would need to happen to McLaren, and it's like a 0.0000143% chance, and someone's gunning for it.
You know what? Good for them. Good for them. Wow.
That's ambition,
that is ambition. Good. Hey, listen. Let's see what new you can do. But yeah, Gasly put up a really good fight with George and Lewis a lot of the times. It's a shame about Mercedes. They didn't do well at all. Yeah. Williams were a shame. Albon did score some points, I guess, but Williams were a bit of a shame. And the rookies, besides Behrman...
No one can do the rain Silverstone, apparently.
Apparently not. So, yeah. I think it's a race that had a bit too much rain. It showed what experience can do. Mm-hmm. I'm a little sad that Lewis didn't get on the podium, but I'm really glad that Hulk did. So, there you go.
Overall,
pretty. Yeah, it's great to be a part of it.
Agreed. So now that we're halfway through the season, what are your predictions?
Well, I think that it's very clear that in terms of the constructors, McLaren has it. Mm-hmm. They have it. I think their car is just phenomenal. The pack are getting closer, and McLaren still are developing the car, so they're not... Actually, are they getting a little slower? I can't remember what they are getting relative to everyone else, but they are trying to still extract some performance, especially for Lando's side. I think Oscar was very happy with how it was. So Lando is getting some tweaks here and there. I think, yeah, they're taking it. I think Ferrari will probably stay P2. And then probably Mercedes, Red Bull. Now, as for the midfield battle, it's interesting to see, right? Because Williams was so strong at the beginning of the season, and they've tailed off with reliability issues and bad strategy calls and driver mistakes. And there's always little bits and pieces that are not adding up to a really robust team, which I'm sure James is not happy about and is making his mind, his thoughts very clear. So I think that the midfield... I still think they'll come out on top. I think their race car is a really good race car, and in terms of the midfield, I think they've got the best driver lineup. So as long as everything works out, I think that's good for them. And then in terms of the drivers, I think Oscar will take it. I don't think Lando will. I think Oscar's too cool, and I think he makes very few mistakes. I think Silverstone was a bit odd, especially seeing him.
I'd say that was him pushing it rather than a mistake.
Yes,
I would say that's him seeing how far what he can get away with.
Yeah, I was referring to how he showed his emotions afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. Usually he's just always very, I won 3 races in a row, go me. But this one he was like very visibly upset, and I'm sure he'll take the 3 weeks, have a mind reset, and just go back to doing what he does. What he does best is drive the really fast car. I think that's what it's going to be.
Fair.
How about you? What are your predictions?
Yeah, probably the same.
Okay, so we have seen all the teams, maybe not every team actually, but we've seen many teams come to different weekends throughout this year so far with different liveries to their cars. And now we're going to talk about which one's the best dressed in rap battle. Let's see which liveries caught our eye this weekend. Well, last weekend at Silverstone. There were... Which teams?
Racing Bulls and McLaren.
That's it, Racing Bulls and McLaren. So, let's talk about... let's have a look. Actually, let's pull them up. Okay, so let's start with McLaren.
It looked like a big mirror.
It was very chrome. I believe that was indeed the point, right? It was kind of like how Ferrari did their blue HP one,
which I didn't like either.
Everybody hated that, and I don't think anybody likes anything to do with the HP part of their livery. However, yes, very chrome, very reminiscent of kind of what it looked like before, right? When Hamilton was driving McLarens, they were kind of silvery.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just another nod to that.
It just looks like a big mirror. I think papaya is very striking, and when you like with Ferrari, the red is very striking. So when you take away from the papaya or the red in favour of the chrome or the blue, it just doesn't have the same impact. It's not like when the closest one I can refer it to for my point is when Racing Bulls went pink for Miami.
Yeah.
Like that was it's not like they just put a bit of pink on, they completely changed it. I think if you're going to make a statement, completely change it.
Yeah, I understand that teams do make subtle livery changes or for certain tracks. Make it interesting.
Go bold.
And I think chrome is fine. It's perfectly fine.
I think it would have looked better had we have seen it in the sun all weekend, but because it was raining the whole time, and you could barely see it anyway, it just kind of looked like this sort of slightly shinier fog.
True. And I suppose, especially with a lot of the photography that you do, having a silver car on a grey track with grey
metal
skies, metal behind it. I mean, it was nice, I suppose, in contrast to the Lando stand. That made it. Well, the
problem was that he was always behind Oscar until the last few laps, so I didn't actually get to take a picture of him in front of Lando stand. It was always just Oscar.
Good point. So yeah, I think really and truly, I wouldn't say it's all the way down in yellow sector, but I reckon top of middle sector.
Top of middle sector.
That's what I would say. Top of yellow sector. What am I talking about? Top of yellow sector for me. Do you agree? Do you concur?
I think that's fair.
Right?
I think that's fair. I actually think that the Monaco Retro one now moves up actually now they're together.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go. Then the second one was Racing Bulls.
Yes.
I actually liked this one. Did you see all the graffiti and things that they did around with the garage and stuff? I actually kind of liked it.
I think it was a really cool idea.
Yeah, it was nice.
I think it matched well with the young drivers, I would say. And I actually quite liked the vibe of it. And there's something about how Racing Bulls have been this year that kind of give it that rebel-esque vibe, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And the second Red Bull driver has been Hadjar.
Yeah.
So, that just gives that kind of weird, I don't know, that vibe. So yeah, I like it as much as the pink, but I like them both more for different reasons. So I feel like the fair thing to do is just put them together. Fair enough.
Are you okay with that?
Yeah. They've been on it with their liveries, I think.
Yeah. I'm happy with those ones. Nothing's going to beat that Haas so far, though.
Oh, the Haas for Suzuka with the cherry blossoms.
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's got a way to go to beat it, I think.
That's a livery.
Yeah, for sure.
If you're going to do something, do it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was brilliant. But yeah, so, meh for McLaren. Well done, Racing Bulls.
Agreed. Shall we talk about Christian Horner?
Oh my gosh. I mean, what's that gonna do?
I feel like both everybody and nobody saw it coming.
Yeah, because they, one, weren't doing so well. Two, last year we were like, surely he can't keep his job after all of this. And three, we all know the Verstappen camp haven't been happy with him since.
All the Mercedes memes are getting a bit out of hand as well.
Yeah. If we weren't talking about Toto approaching him before, after those pictures of those two on a private island or something on a plane, I don't know what it was, but where were they?
I think
they were both, plane and
they were both in, was it Sicily at the same time?
I've no idea.
They were both somewhere at the same time.
Yeah, so
with their planes.
Hey, look. Let's say Toto gets Max and pays a ridiculous amount of money. Then again, they can afford it. So, who goes out? Is it George or is it Kimi?
There's a very real reason why there's been no contract for George yet.
Right.
Because the thing is Kimi's his prodigy. So why would you bring Kimi all the way up to then just sack him off in favour of Max when Max has quite clearly stated that he probably isn't going to be in there for another 2-3 years, after another 2-3 years. Whereas George wants to win world championships, which he's not going to do in the next 2-3 years, maybe.
I mean, when you think about his performances, they have been... Whatever the car can do,
They have, but it's going to take Mercedes a little bit of time to get back up to that sort of standard because they're not going to win this year. They possibly stand a chance next year, but I still think we're like another 2 seasons away from seeing Mercedes return, if they return at all. And that's not counting on the fact that Hamilton's also supposed to make a return. So where would George fit into it? So I can't see...
Hamilton's supposed to make a return to what?
To drivers?
Oh, I thought you meant a return to Mercedes. I was like, is he?
No, to take you to being world champion.
Yes, agreed.
So it's like, I don't know. Where would George go if he wasn't at Mercedes?
That's the question.
But you can't get rid of Kimi because...
Why not?
But because the whole point of bringing Kimi up was so that Toto had his own little Max.
I agree.
That was literally the entire reason that he had Kimi.
I agree. I mean...
He missed out on Max. He's like, right, I'm not missing out on Kimi. Oh, well, I'm going to sack Kimi in favour of Max. Well, look at the long game.
No, but the long game I get. But also, what is true is that both Max and George aren't old. They're still in their mid to late 20s.
Yeah, but Max doesn't want to be there doesn't want to be racing for after the next 2-3 years.
No, I agree. I agree. So yes, you could bring Max on, but Kimi as a reserve driver for 2 years, Max leave and then bring Kimi back. You could do that. I don't know.
Yeah, but there's four of the rookies on that grid. I can't remember how many rookies there are. There's too many rookies on that grid.
Right.
Someone else is going to snatch Kimi up, and Kimi will want to be snatched up if you put him as a reserve driver.
Probably. Then
you've got George and Max who don't get on.
They don't
battling
get on.
It out for a championship in the same car.
They would be.
They're going to crash, fight, spit on each other.
Or win.
One of them will win.
Oh, one of them will win, but as a constructor.
Yeah, but still only one of them will win.
I agree with you.
That's a lot of pastoral care you're going to have to put into it.
That's true. Good point.
You have to sack the engineers and bring in head of year 8.
Yeah, you would. So I think I agree with you. The most likely scenario, if Toto was able to get Max to join Mercedes, would be George would have to go. It'd be Max and Kimi, because Max ain't working with George. And then George would just have to find somewhere. I don't know where. Would he go to Red Bull? No one's driving those cars.
It's the same as Sainz moving last year, isn't it? No one's got any idea where anyone's going.
Yeah.
Because no one knows where George and Max are going.
100%.
Specifically Max.
Specifically Max. So we'll see.
And then we've got Cadillac.
Because
maybe Max and George will go to Cadillac. Maybe everybody will just get
that'd be crazy.
Completely blindsided. Bottas and Kimi for Mercedes. Bring Sergio back to Red Bull.
Could you imagine? And he wins now. He's a fantastic racing driver. We have to remember that. In fact, he was doing some of Sauber's first podiums when Lewis was winning in 2012. Perez was in a Sauber, if I'm not mistaken, and he was getting a couple of podiums.
Perez was running in Red Bull before the car was completely undrivable.
No, I know. I'm just saying, even back in the day and stuff.
Oh, no, Perez is a fantastic driver.
He most certainly is.
Got given a dirty deal.
He most certainly was. And
as did Alex, as did Pierre, as did Liam, as did Yuki.
Yeah, and I think everyone has a bit more respect for Perez right now. I think that's happening. I think you're right. I think Max and Kimi, George will go somewhere. Cadillac can have Bottas. If I were Cadillac, I would have a Bottas and Perez. People have said that they might want a nice young person, a rookie of sorts.
I keep seeing a lot of Indy Car 500 names flying around because it's American team.
They're American, aren't they? Yeah, I suppose so. But also, they'd be a very popular team if they brought back Bottas and Perez. Be a very popular team. People would have Cadillac merch.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people would just want to see how well they do. I look forward to the end of the year when they release who they have. I
look forward to the start of 2026 so we can see what the grid looks like again.
Of course.
With the 26 cars and the liveries and stuff for that.
Yeah.
2025 season's not even over and I'm already excited for next year.
Exactly. I think, and the reason why, let's be real, when we got into the season, we thought everyone's going to be fighting for wins. It's going to be crazy. But it's kind of like a 2023 with Red Bull. It's just very... I think McLaren dominant with some flashes here and there, with Max outperforming the car, George outperforming the car when the Mercedes is quick. And then with the Ferrari, besides the sprint win in China from Lewis, they've not won anything else. So we will see. We'll see. But hopefully the rest of the season, as everyone finds a bit more performance, brings some upgrades to Spa, it should hopefully bring the pack closer together, and so it's less of a dominant season. But next year is going to shake everything up. So we will see what happens at Spa. It's going to be an interesting race. Hopefully, the order will shake things up. Hopefully we get some other teams being fast. Come on, Lewis and the Ferrari. Come on. Williams, get your act together. Double points.
They always said that the focus is on 2026.
Yeah, but we need some double points.
It'd be nice to get double points. We know that they can.
The car
focus
is fast
on
enough.
2026.
The car is fast enough. If they got everything right, they'd be fine. They have to maximize their weekends, but they're not.
And hope that people stop crashing into
Carlos
and giving him damage.
Poor thing. It's kind of like Alonso at the beginning of the season. He's just the unluckiest driver there is. So hopefully that all happens. But we will see what happens in Spa. But until then, this has been Patterns and Pole. Bye.